Daniil's great-grandfather was a victim of Soviet-era repression in Ukraine, someone Stalin and the communist regime labeled the enemy of the people. Like thousands of others, Daniil set out to find out more about the life and execution of his relative. Mikhailo Gechtman lived in the town of Olevsk in the Zhytomyr region and served in a border detachment. In 1936, the Soviet NKVD arrested him. 2 years later, he was shot.
At home, they said that he was convicted as a Polish spy, but I still have to figure it out.
Growing up, Daniil's grandmother spoke about Mikhailo. He never questioned the stories she told. But one day, he accessed the Kiev archives of the communist repressive agencies, which told an altogether different story.
The official version was that my great-grandfather stood up for his cellmate. For this, he was shot. In the library of NGO Memorial, I opened a memory book for the Zhytomyr region where he was arrested. In this book, I saw that my great-grandfather was sentenced to 5 years in prison. I knew that he was shot in Magadan. I decided to check the information in the memory book of the Magadan region. There I saw the death sentence.
Daniil decided to turn detective. He is planning a fact-finding trip to Olevsk in search of his great-grandfather's house. Daniil also wants to set up a commemorative plaque at the exact place where Mikhailo was arrested. It will serve as a reminder about those who were taken away and never returned home.
Our focus with this project is on regular people who fell victim to this, those who were lost among dozens of thousands of others whose names were supposed to get lost. We find these names and try to return them home.
The Last Address project was launched in 2017. In Kiev, Kharkiv, and Odessa, steel plaques the size of a postcard have appeared on dozens of houses. They contain a few lines and an empty window instead of a photo.
An empty square is a conceptual, stylistic solution which works together with the size of the plaque, its color, and the information on it. All this creates a complete single solution with an absolutely clear message. The emptiness near the person's name symbolizes nothingness. The person is gone.
Coordinators of the project check the dates of birth, arrest, execution, and rehabilitation in archives and help relatives find the missing information.
Obviously, the date of rehabilitation is extremely important because with it, we emphasize on the criminality and illegality of what happened.
Here stood the house where lived. These words are put on the plaque if the original building was demolished. Yevhen says that the hardest thing is finding the exact location where residences of rehabilitated persons used to be. He studies old maps, layout plans, and former names of streets and landmarks. For example, the Simon Petlura street in Kiev was renamed 4 times. We'll return here in our next story from the series Reclaiming Memory, reported by Yevhenia Burda for UATV.